Hi everybody, Unk here. In today's video we are going to focus on these three ballast songs. What we have here are the Squid Industries Krake Raken V3. I have three Krakens set up in three different ways. So I have the Kraken Trainer, I have a live blade Tonto with full channels, and I have a live blade Tonto with speed channels. The way I'm going to go into this video is from the perspective of somebody who is new to the hobby or newer to the hobby and may be interested in picking up their very first Kraken. So if you're newer in the hobby, there are going to be some things, some differences between these three ballies that you're going to be able to pick up on and notice. So I want to make sure that those differences are kind of called out in a way that you can kind of go into your first Kraken experience as best you can for success. So, starting it, all three ballies are the Squid Industries Krake Raken V3, meaning they all share the exact same handle. They have channeled 7075 aluminum construction with press fit Zen pins. And for the most part, that means they're all the same, right? Other than this one right here, the Speed-Channel Kraken obviously is going to be a little bit different handle construction than these two because of the nature of the speed channel. So with the speed channel, you have this material that has been milled out of the side, creating the speed channel, which results in slightly lighter handles in comparison to the handles that you would see in a full channel, either live blade or trainer. Additionally, between these three, another difference that might be worth noting, but you wouldn't be able to identify it in your flipping, is the hardware. So with my speed channeled Tonto, I have titanium hardware, whereas with the other two, I have the default steel hardware. Technically speaking, steel is a little bit heavier than titanium, so this hardware is slightly lighter than the hardware in these two ballast songs, but so marginally so you wouldn't notice the difference. So if you're thinking about getting a Kraken and you're asking yourself whether or not you want to go the route of getting the time mod with your hardware, it's solely a matter of visual preference. It's the aesthetic only. You're not going to tell the difference when you're actually flipping it. Yeah, so getting into the specific ballast songs. First, we have the Kraken Trainer, and this comes in at 4.2 ounces. This is noticeably handle bias. It does have a slight ring to it when you're flipping it, and that is because of the construction of the trainer blade. Because it has these cutouts, it allows for vibration to occur when you're opening or closing the bally, which will give it a slight ring periodically. You won't hear it constantly. It's not like you're flipping a Zyzix or anything like that, but when you're flipping it and it opens up or it closes or you're doing some ricochets, you may very well end up hearing that ring. So if you like the ring, then that's good for you. If you don't like the ring, you can always get a zippy insert for the blade that will have two purposes. One is it will silence that ring, but number two, the zippy inserts have a titanium ball bearing that goes in the end of it that also adjusts the weight profile to make it less handle bias. It'll still be handle bias, but not as handle bias as it would be otherwise. So that is the trainer. The live blade Kraken with full channels comes in at 4.3 ounces, It is still handle bias, but not as handle bias as the trainer blade. And unlike the trainer blade, because this has a full live blade, there's nothing that's going to create a ring. So this just gives you that very standard, satisfying clickety-clack sound, but you won't experience a ring with the full channel live blade Kraken. And lastly, we have the Speed-Channel Kraken. This one is the lightest of the three, comes in at 4.1 ounces. This has a slight handle bias, and again, that's because of the speed channels, the handles are slightly lighter, which makes this have of the three, this is the least handle bias. And similar to the trainer, but far more so, this one you do get a ring, but you don't get the ring because of the blade, you get a ring because of the speed channels. So where you hear a slight ring with the trainer periodically, you get a much more pronounced ring with the speed channels. An overall comparison from the perspective of the beginner like myself, you can definitely tell the difference in balance between these three, especially if you're familiar with rollovers and chaplains and fans. So for rollovers, with the trainer being the most handle bias, it sticks very well with rollovers. It chaplains very easily. Well, as easily as, that you can chaplain. Chaplains aren't necessarily easy for some people, but it sticks to the chaplains, and it sticks with the rollovers very nicely. With the Full-Channel Kraken, also because this is noticeably handle bias, though not nearly as handle bias as the trainer, rollovers are solid, chaplains are sticky, no issues whatsoever. However, when you get to the Speed-Channel Kraken, that's where things start getting noticeably different. The chaplains are still pretty sticky, no issues, but when you're doing rollovers, if you throw them too hard, you're not paying attention to what you're doing. There are plenty of times where this will leave my hand unintentionally because it is, of the three, the least handle biased. Now for fans, I'm looking at it in two different ways, from the typical fan opening and then from a palm fan. So for the typical fan opening, which is that, the trainer requires more effort and doesn't spin as long as the other two. The live blade full channel doesn't require as much effort, but doesn't spin much longer than the trainer does. And the speed channel requires the least amount of effort and spins noticeably, for me, noticeably longer than the other two. You'll get an extra half or maybe even full rotation with the same amount of effort. For palm fans, though, that's another area that is noticeably different. So with the trainer, palm fans for me seem to be less stable. They seem to wobble and require a lot of effort and don't continue to rotate for very long. For the full channel, it's much easier to initiate, I don't seem to notice as much of a wobble, but just like with the trainer, it doesn't continue to rotate nearly as long as with the speed channel. The speed channel requires the least amount of effort to initiate the fan. You won't see a wobble, or I don't see a wobble. And I might get an extra rotation or half a rotation out of the palm fan. So long as I'm not hitting my hand when I'm doing a fan. So those are the main differences and the main way or areas where you're going to see a difference or be able to tell a difference as a beginner between these three setups. Is with this one, the trainer, definitely the most handle bias, and you can feel the difference. You can tell the difference in your flipping. Your rollovers and chaplains are going to be the most steady and solid. With this one, your fans are going to require more effort. Still totally doable. It'll just require more effort. For the full channel live blade, the rollovers and the chaplains, still solid. Don't try to fly off your hands. Fans are far more satisfying. And for the speed channel, fans are great, but you have to be conscious and thoughtful, especially as a beginner, when you're going into your rollovers, because with this being the least handle bias of the grouping, it is far and away the most likely to try to leave your grip during a rollover. Not so much an issue with chaplains. Like I said, this one fans great. And it does give you that ever-present ring because of the speed channels. So that is my summary of the differences that a beginner should be able to notice between the three different setups that you can do with a Kraken V3. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys stopping in. Hopefully this was educational. But thank you all very much. See you in the next one. Love you.